You can buy a home for $500. You can buy one for $50,000. But in the retail world of stick-built homes, what can you do with $5,000? What can you buy for $500? They'll laugh at you. But how many homes have we bought for $500?
How many homes have we gotten for free?
For free, yeah. Hi, everybody. My name's Dan Layton, and this is my partner.
And I'm Dan Payton.
And we're the owners of EZHomes, LLC. So, and welcome to Mobile Home Investing University. We just want to share a little bit about who we are and how we got started. So, first of all, my background is I was a salesman for equipment with my brother for 21 years, selling stamping equipment. And basically, a buddy of mine had some tapes from Carlton sheets, and somebody had given them to him. And basically, he said, "Listen, I'm not this isn't my gig. So would you like to read these or study them?" And I did. And then after looking at them, studying them, I went out and bought the new package, and lo and behold, started to get cold feet and investing in real estate because it was so cash intensive. And I found mobile homes to be one of the CDs or cassettes. And so I got involved in mobile homes that way. And that's when this guy got a hold of me. So I'll let Dan share a little bit about his background and then how we discovered each other.
Yeah, my entry into mobile home investing was very similar. Back in 2001, I got my hands on a Carlton sheets, investing in stick-built type properties, and I took some time to look at the course. I remember to this day chapter 24 in that course. Now these were on cassette tapes back in those days, so I'd listen to it in my car over and over and over. In fact, when I sold that car, that tape was still stuck in the cassette player because I couldn't get it out after a while. But there was that chapter 24 zeroed in on investing in mobile homes versus stick-built properties. It was a much lower entry in terms of cash outlay, and that's when I launched.
Yeah, similar in that Carlton Sheets cassette program. I think I remember it was called Gold Mines and Mobile Home Parks was the one. And like I said, I was looking at buying a apartment complex in Michigan. It was like $750,000. And I thought, holy mackerel, if this doesn't work out, I don't know how I'll recover from $750,000 mistake. So I went from $750,000 investment to a $3,000 or $4,000 mobile home. And that's where I took the plunge, is I bought my first mobile home in Oxford, Michigan. Matter of fact, the owner of the park, who was really great, I bought it, sweated bullets that night. I don't know how, I might have got 20 minutes of sleep. Went the next day and asked him to get me out of the deal. And Dave was his name, and he just told me, he goes, "Dan, a deal is a deal, and I'm going to hold you to it." And I'm like, oh my gosh, what did I do? And this is not like a $3,000 or $4,000 investment. So lo and behold, that investment became, I sold that home 3 or 4 times on a note. So that $3,000 to $4,000 made me, I think all in all, probably $20,000 thousand. So I'm glad that Dave held my feet to the fire and made me keep my word. So, but Dan and I, it was really cool because I was out doing this thinking I'm the only guy doing it. And I get a call out of nowhere from Dan Payton, and he says, "Hey, are you doing what I think you're doing?" And I said, "What do you think I'm doing?" He goes, "Are you selling mobile homes on notes? Because I put an ad in the paper." And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "You ever heard of a guy named Lonnie Scruggs?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I've got his book." He goes, "I do too. I'm doing the same thing." And he goes, I've been doing this for 4 years. I just, I like to get together and just run some ideas by us, see if we've got something we can share. And it just kind of blew my mind that my competitor out of nowhere called me up and kind of was, being open and honest, like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I'm like, being a little resigned and cynical, like, what do you want from me? But what it really was, hey, it's kind of a lonely business. There's nobody else really doing this. We'd like to get together, grab a pop and a piece of pizza, and let's just share stories. And that's what we did. We went to a pizzeria down in Southfield, and we just started chatting. And I'm like, wow, this is pretty cool. He's got some great ideas, and we kind of developed a friendship at that point. So.
Yeah, and that was back in around 05, 06, I believe.
Yeah.
And we kind of were comparing our portfolios at the time, our note portfolios. And I think around 07 is when we decided to kind of slide our chips to the middle of the table and combine our portfolios and become a company. And that's when we came up with the name EZHomes.
Well, what was really cool is you had the idea. You said, I've got this dream, this wild idea. You go, what if we were to put our portfolios together? And I got this name of this company called EZHomes, and I read it, and it was like, I'm in. I mean, it wasn't even a thought like, let's just think about it, whatever. I was in. I'm like, yeah, this is awesome, because what I saw in Dan was he was an IT, director at a hospital in Michigan, and I was just like, that is so far outside my skill set. I'm a sales guy. I can communicate, build relations. I'm a salesman at heart. And I'm like, that's an area that would be awesome. And plus, I get to bounce ideas off him, and he'll have a ton of great ideas. And he already shared a bunch with me. So, yeah, the EZHomes idea was, you had that, invited me in, we launched. And I never forget, doing the work on mobile homes together at 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, renovating them, just talking about ideas, just sharing and creating. And before you know it, we had this company that was creating notes all over the place, mobile home notes.
Yep, and we're about to celebrate our 13th year anniversary.
Yeah.
How many homes have we flipped over that 13 years?
I think we've added up. It's a little over 1,400, and most of them predominantly in the Michigan market, but we have expanded outside of that. But 1,400, when you mentioned that to me a couple months ago, it kind of blew my mind, like, how many was that again?
Yeah.
I remember my first one, and maybe by the end of today we'll have 1,401.
And how many times do you think we heard no in those 13 years?
A lot more, probably 10 times more than the yeses. But coming from a sales background, and I'm sure from your background, no is common, but it doesn't stop us. It's just another opportunity to look what's what would be a yes, what's the next yes, because in sales that's what you're always looking for, is get over the next obstacle, get to a yes.
And our business over the 13 years has really crossed a lot of different pieces of evolution. We used to buy homes a certain way in the beginning and sell them a certain way, and it's really evolved over the last 13 years to a place that we never even imagined, just a few years ago. So it's a lot of evolution in this business, and now we're ready to we want to share it with other investors that are thinking about maybe getting into the mobile home investing business, or have heard about it, but maybe they've heard some of the stigma with mobile homes. There's some that comes with that, but we feel like we're ready to share some of our knowledge with you and invite you in and coach you, and we're creating this university to kind of launch that aspect of our business.
Yeah, and it's you're right. We've kind of the business has morphed, and we started with just buying and investing and writing notes. And I can remember actually we created on Sterling Heights, we actually had a park pay us to bring homes in, like actually help contribute to our investment, which we just blew our mind. Like, instead of investing all of our money and renovating it, they actually paid us to bring a home in, and then they would move it in for us, set it up, put the steps on, get it all, the C of O, and then we would sell it on a note. And we brought in like 40, 50 homes in that park, which, if you put one home in a park, it can change the value of it by 30, 40, 50 grand. So these guys were all over us. And we thought we hit it on the head. Like, oh my gosh, can you? Matter of fact, we even framed the first check we got from them paying us for that. And I was just like, we've made it. And I look back now, and it's like, that was just the beginning.
Right.
I mean, it's kind of funny how much we've changed.
I have to admit, we've stumbled into some of our success. Had sort of these hidden treasures that emerge, and some of it by accident. And we'd like to share that in future, sessions or future videos. So it's been just a great ride, and we think we're even at this point still at the tip of the iceberg on the things that we can accomplish in basically investing in mobile homes.
Yeah, like you said, Dan, is sharing it with other people, because the whole idea was kind of keeping it to yourselves,
right?
Kind of coveting an idea, and actually looking at the paper, calling me was kind of the first step. You reached out. You didn't have to do that, and it kind of blew me away. Like I said before, that like my competitors doing this, and now we've got 13 years behind us. We're creating, constantly evolving, and sharing this is kind of our new passion, so that, like you said, other people can make some living on it. It could be a single mom who has a part-time job, or a disgruntled real estate investor that just is, how many of those are there out there that just haven't made much on it. It's just an overlooked market that we've tapped.
And if we hadn't partnered up, there's a chance that neither one of us would still be in this business. We may have gone on to other things. We may have just sort of petered out. The partnership. So I think the partnership's really important, and that's kind of what we're offering is partnership with new people to get into this business, and to someone to sort of coach you and ride along and weather the storms with you in this business, because we've been through every storm you can imagine with 1,400 homes, and how many no's and how many things kind of went sideways and we didn't expect. Now I'm sure there's more storms we're going to run into, but we've weathered a lot of storms and have a lot of experience and stories to tell to help you sort of avoid those storms, right?
That's true. Mitigating risk is such a huge deal. It's what stops people from doing much of anything. What's the risk if I'm going to ask this girl out on a date? She might say no. And like Dan said earlier, how many times have you been told no? It's just a no. But in our business, it's an opportunity.
Or it's a no right today.
Yeah, it doesn't mean it's a no tomorrow. You're right. Yeah, and it's fascinating to see. We know how it feels, because nobody coached us hardly. We had a couple of little books we bought. We talked about Lonnie Scruggs. He's a good old West Virginia guy who wrote these books on how to buy and make money in mobile homes, and we both had read these, and we still own them today. I actually talked to Lonnie. I think we both have, but he's since passed. But and he passed that on to other people. So here we are, kind of his downline, or his
legacy. Yeah,
and we want to do the same thing, because what he created for our lives was some freedom and ease and some prosperity, and we want to share that.
Right, joy and prosperity.
Yeah. And so with Mobile Home Investing University, that's what we want to create. We want to create that partnership, that freedom, that you guys have somebody that's got your backs, that has done this successfully. So you don't take that wrong step, because in any investment, I don't care if you're doing stick-built flips or flipping cars or whatever you want, whatever you're trying to make money in, if there's not somebody there kind of to be your advocate, to bounce an idea off, then you could fall into a couple $1,000 mistake, and you might not recover, and that's the end of that opportunity going forward, because if you lose money, why would you do it again?
Right.
But yeah, flipping homes. I never thought we'd be flipping mobile homes. I didn't. I thought we'd be writing notes forever.
I did too. And I was thinking, we'll have 100 notes, 200 notes, and that's the way we were thinking back in those days.
Right.
That changed, though, and in future episodes, we're going to show you kind of how things morphed or evolved, and how we got to where we are today. So that if you don't want to carry paper, we're not saying you shouldn't, but there's other ways to make money in mobile home investing, rather than just carrying paper. But that works great too. So we don't want to discourage people from doing that.
No, not by all means. And there'll be episodes on how to make money in renting mobile homes or, flipping them, renovation business. There's all sorts in the mobile home industry, but the fact that there's just literally millions of mobile homes out there. I think we read.
Yeah, the stats in the U.S. There's about 30 million mobile homes that are residential properties across the country. So that's really 30 million opportunities to buy a mobile home, to invest in a mobile home. So it's really virtually unlimited.
Yeah, and I think the other stat that blew my mind was out of that number, 70% are on private land. So just like, you drive around your community and you're going to see mobile home parks everywhere. All right, that's where that's one area to find them. But with 70% being on private land, that opens up, a whole new area too. For instance, I know you had when we got together, you had a couple land home deals where you actually had the home and you bought the land, and that's a whole nother chapter that we'll be talking about because that's basically when you own the dirt too.
Yeah, basically creating your own mini mobile home park.
Yeah,
you own the dirt, you own the home, you sell the home on paper, or you rent it.
Right.
And you rent the dirt and the home. So there's a lot of different ways to make money.
Exactly.
In mobiles. And I'm looking forward to future episodes where we can basically share with you exactly what we did with Home X. We took it from A to Z. How we bought the home, sort of the things we went through during the development of the home, and then how we sold the home. Back from the homes in the beginning of our business career and homes we did last week.
Right.
And so we can show you how you go from A to Z, and what to avoid, what pitfalls to avoid, and how to really enjoy the business too. While you're doing it.
Yeah, because if you don't enjoy it, then why do it?
Probably shouldn't be doing it.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
But the cool is the freedom that you can do this full-time, part-time, whatever you want. You can put in the hours. It's up to you. But if you don't have a success, then you're probably not going to want to do it again. And our job is to coach and develop you so that you do have a success, a win. And then, because like once again, if you don't have a win, you're just going to fall the wayside, and it'll just be another idea that you tried, it didn't work. So Dan's and my job is to make sure that your first deal is a success.
And your 10th deal and your 100th deal,
yeah.
Right? So as you're going to run into new circumstances every time you get ready to buy another property, and it's going to be unique and probably different from the other ones you did to some degree. So I guarantee you we've probably already run into that same exact deal in another time in our career, and we can share with you what we did and how we approached that deal, how we got through it and had a great exit strategy, and most importantly made money doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and with the the advent of the internet, we're an internet company. Mainly we do have some retail deals where we've got relationships with parks where we actually buy and renovate and flip homes on the retail level, but we're mainly wholesalers, but we have a lot of experience in the retail. That first few years was all retail. I mean, Let's face it, all those notes.
Yep.
How many did we have at one time together?
I think overall we probably, the course of our note business, we probably had 150, that of course a note expires at a certain point. But we had some homes that we sold multiple times.
Oh, yeah.
And I think one of our homes, I'm pretty sure we bought and sold this same home 9 times.
Yeah.
And we had several homes that I know we bought and sold, 3 or 4 or 5 times over and over. So, you buy that one home for $1,500, you might sell it to 3 or 4 different people. You get 3 or 4 different down payments. You get a string of note payments over a period of time. That $1,500 investment turns into a $20,000, $30,000 windfall.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and I remember some people we'd share it with people, and I know you shared it with family members, friends, and they said, well, let me get this right. You're buying a home for $1,000 or $2,000, and you're selling it for 10 on a note. You go, yeah, what's a note? Well, a note is, it's like your house payment, right? You've got, your interest rate, and then you have your mortgage. And then, there's an expiration over how many months. And they said, what happens if they don't pay? and you get it back. I said, then I make more money. And it was so funny that people were, I mean, remember when people would say that, you're like, that's okay. You know, if I can make more money, I'm good with that. And it just didn't land for the majority of the people that I shared with. There was a fear there. And it's like, if I get it back and I've made $3,000 on it already, and I have to renovate it again, I'm going to sell it again. I'm going to have another 48, 60 month note. And then it was just like, and people couldn't get their head around that. But that's what we're going to coach you guys in is, you know, things that just don't maybe land for you right now. You have questions, we'll answer them. But once you get the power of, you know, how far your money can go in this business, because it's not a high level entry business. You can buy a home for $500. You can buy one for $50,000. But in the retail world of stick-built homes, what can you do with $5,000? What can you buy for $500? They'll laugh at you. But I mean, how many homes have we bought for $500?
How many homes have we gotten for free?
For free, yeah.
You know,
Yeah, what's the return investment on that? Yeah.
Dozens and dozens. I bought a home the other day for $1, but I had to put a couple of bucks in it to get it cleaned up. So you just never know. I think one year we got 6 homes for free that we sold for, you know, in our $5,000 to, you know, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 within a few weeks.
Yeah.
You know, because we've created a network of you know, buyers, investors, park owners, people that know about us, and you know, when they've got something to give away, who do they call first? They call us.
Yeah.
So it you know, that didn't happen overnight. That took time to build that network of people who know about us, and so we can bring that sort of recognition of our company to you to help you, you know, buy and sell homes. And so one of the things is people get nervous about is, you know, what's my exit strategy going to be on this particular home that I just bought? First of all, we're going to try to get you to the point where you don't buy the home until you've had it sort of safety checked, you know,
right,
so that you're not making a mistake. And then we can help you with the exit part as well.
Thanks for watching Mobile Home Investing University.
And don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and iTunes.